Going to repeat myself to anyone who has been here. I'm sorry. But a couple housekeeping items. Number one, I can't see you. So if you're raising a hand in the back of the class, sorry, can't see you. Number two, I can't hear you. So if you have a question, please put the question into the chat. If you put the question into, I'm sorry, into the Q&A, if you put the question into the chat, it might get lost. We have a team dedicated to the Q&A section. So please, on everyone's behalf and your own, put those questions into the Q&A. So for tonight's edition, we are going to get started. And what we have going on, you have myself, tonight's host, Andy Zielinski. I am joining you from the lovely state of Idaho, where thankfully, the snow has held out, and I can still chase what's becoming a bit sloppy of trails out there, but I will take it. And as you can see, I am rolling around in my wonderful 9580 series Land Cruiser, affectionately named Larry. Though Larry is getting a little tired in some areas, he is a joy to rip around the trails with. What we have, yeah, I like Larry too. Says Larry. That's funny. Okay, what we have cooking tonight is I'm gonna go over kind of a feature overview, and this is going to be not rapid fire, but I'm going to encourage you guys to play along with your phone. So if you have your phone, pull it out, or if you're on a laptop, I'm going to show you how to access the maps. But I really encourage you guys to kind of follow along, click some buttons, and start to learn the app. And there will be a lot that we cover tonight. So just kind of full disclosure. And then I'm going to go into some scenario planning around just like how to plan your adventure and then how to execute your adventure. And I've got a fun little tease about in the end about how to really make that adventure come to life. So stay tuned there. And then lastly, we have a giveaway because who doesn't love something that's free? Amen. Can I get an amen? Amen. All right, let's get going. So I thank you guys. You are participating well. Okay, so I'm gonna start from this view, and this is on purpose. So what I want you to do is we have the onXmaps.com homepage. As you can see, there are several different products that we have to offer. Tonight, we are focusing specifically on off-road. That's why you are here. So let's go ahead and let's get into the map from the login. Hopefully you guys all have an account and you can easily log in. I'm going to go ahead, log into the web map, and then from there, as the map decides to wake up, it's waking up, it's waking up, it's waking up. Here we go. Wow, it is sleepy tonight. Okay, so as it wakes up, thank you for playing along. Map, as it wakes up, you're, excuse me, you're going to see several kind of different icons, several kind of different things to look at. I want to kind of focus your perspective on how the map is laid out. And just so you can see, and it might be hard to see on my screen. Okay, that's not going to work. So effectively, this navigation bar right here on the left-hand side of the screen will be represented on your mobile device down on the bottom. And it's relatively one-to-one. So you'll see Discover, Offline Maps, My Content. What you're not going to see on the navigation bar on your phone is going to be the My Garage, the Elite, My Stats. That's going to be tucked up in the hamburger menu, but you will see those buttons replaced with Tools as well as Go and Track. So I'll get into some of the mobile specific stuff in a minute. But for anyone who's on mobile and you're looking at the computer screen, that's how to kind of orient your view. Now, let's go into kind of getting a general overview of what this map has to offer. I like to start up at the top. So I'm going to kind of hover over where it says dirt. You'll hear me refer to this as the activity tab. So I'm going to simply tap the activity tab right here, the orange button. And from here, you can get a sense of, all right, what kind of vehicles and what kind of trails do I want to go explore? Do I want to go discover that I want to go run? And what's cool about this is you can begin to filter your map according to the vehicle type. So if I select all, I'll zoom back out again. As I select all, you'll start to see a lot more trails populate. But then if I just select single track, you'll see that there becomes a little bit fewer trails. Now, because I'm running a four-wheel drive, full width truck, I'm going to select full width and high clearance trails. I'm not going to select single track, but if you're out chasing single track, feel free to keep that on for the sake of following along. From there, you will see a difficulty level. And this is really important because if you want all the different trails, you can easily see all of the different trails by simply selecting all. But depending on your appetite for the adventure you want to get into, you might want to say for the day, I just want an easy to moderate trail. Or let's say you have something that, an adventure that you just kind of want it to be a little bit more aggressive and challenging. You can filter the map by the difficulty rating. So there's not a ton of difficult trails out around by me, which is probably not entirely accurate, but that's what the map says. But let's go to easy. So I'm going to deselect difficult, select easy. Now let's scroll down and determine what trail length I want to run. You can, again, filter the trail length by as long or as short of a distance that you want, the guesstimated trail time that will take to run the trail. And then I'm going to get into some of the layers in a little bit. But if you look, we have multiple layer options for you to get a sense of. So that way you can really plan out your ideal adventure. So I was just talking about these trails. Let's go ahead and move over to what's called the Discover tab. So let's say I'm new to the area of Idaho, the Panhandle. I want to discover what's around me. I have an appetite for easy to moderate because I don't want to get into any kind of weird situation. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to hit the Discover tab, and then this is going to pull up trails within 100-mile radius of where you are located. So if my map is anchored in Idaho, it's going to be pulling 100 miles around, and it will kind of refine the search if you move your map around. So if you're like, well, I want to be further down south, or I want to be heading out west, the Discover tab will reorder accordingly. So as you can see, I have a multitude of trails to choose from. I'm going to go ahead. Let's pick Quartz Creek to the Jack Saloon. And let's see what this one is all about. Okay, so from the jump, there's a few things to know as you're looking at the trail card. Number one is you're going to get a holistic overview of what is on this trail. And I'm going to explain a little bit of where some of this trail data information is coming in from because it is really one of the elements that sets onX Offroad apart from the competitors. But effectively, you're getting a holistic overview. You're getting a total distance of the trail, high and low point, and this could be particularly interesting, especially as seasons are changing and you want to avoid any potential snow. But if you're one who wants to go chase some snow, that also could be of interest because you could be like, all right, well, the high point might be getting high enough into above tree line or to the snow line. Cool. Difficulty. technical rating, and then the rough guesstimated time it would take to run the trail. It will also provide a route type. So this might be an out and back. It might be a point to point, which could also be an out and back. It could be a loop. There will also be kind of assumed best times to run the trail. And this could be because of seasonality. This could also be because of gate closures. So it is important to make sure you're clicking in, understanding really why a trail would not be ran at a certain time. If the gate's closed, obviously stay out of there. And then submitted by. So as I mentioned just a minute ago, one thing that sets onX Offroad apart is we have an amazing group of hired hands that go out and they are scouting, they are running these trails, and this group of individuals is called our trail guides. And so our trail guides, they're going out, they are diligently running these trails. They are gathering as much information, beta, data, etc., to be able to provide a point of view of how this trail, how the trail runs, some potential obstacles that you might face along the trail, and then also again, just a high level description of what the trail might entail as you're going through your adventure. So, as you can see, our trail guide submitted a really great description. I'm going to click out of this, back down. They also provided photos. So, amazing. I can see that this potentially is a trail that I would want to go take the family out on for a Saturday afternoon, cruise. We get to see some great greenery. Yeah, awesome. Check, check, check. And then the difficulty rating. And this is really nice because this kind of allows for, the viewer and the potential rider to get an understanding of what might be ahead out on the trail. So the trail guide, they rated this a 3 that is categorized as easy. If you're curious how this is broken down, I'm going to go ahead and click this little question mark right here and see how the technical ratings are described. So you can see that we have 1, 2, 3 in green, which indicates that this is a easy trail. Now I'm going to draw your eye right over here. As you can see, this trail that's highlighted in orange, that trail, actually, the main color is green. So cool. Now, for kind of closing the loop on this one, any trails that are green out here, green trails equals what, people? Easy trails. Thank you for saying it with me. Blue, moderate. And then as you scroll down, black, difficult, and then red, extreme. So it's good to know because if, again, let's just go ahead and back out to my filters really quickly. I want to select all. Now I'm starting to see blue trails, which is moderate. I will find red or black trails somewhere around here, but you get the point. There are a lot of different trails, and we want to categorize our trails accordingly, so that way you guys get the best sense and best confidence before you're going out to run the trails. So let's go ahead and select this trail down here, the Lolo Motorway, aka Forest Road 500. Next thing you'll know is, or see, is that there's a trail report button. And I kind of glazed over this on the previous trail, but if you were on this trail card, you scroll back up to the top, you're going to see that there's a trail report status here. To get more information, tap the trail reports button, and then from here, you can add a trail report. And we have, like roughly 350 participants here tonight with us. Cool. I would encourage you guys, every single one of you this weekend, go out and run a trail and add a trail report. Basically, what a trail report is It's not so much like a Yelp review. It's more so like if you go into a restaurant and you see that the restaurant is, there's nobody in the restaurant, are you going to want to eat there? Probably not. So what we're trying to do is this is an opportunity for the community to provide input into how the trail conditions are kind of running throughout the seasons. So go ahead, add a trail report. Let's go ahead and pretend that we will add one today. Don't tell my boss, but I didn't want to go to this morning's meeting, so I skipped it. Went out on a trail ride. From here, if you have vehicles, and I'll get into a second, if you have vehicles in the My Garage, you can select the vehicle that you were out riding that trail with. I'm gonna go ahead and say Big Gus for the sake of today's conversation, and let's just pretend for right now it's open. Okay, trail status, it's open. Go ahead and select next. Then it's going to prompt you on what the trail condition is. Normal, dusty, muddy, wet. I'm going to go ahead and say it's muddy and wet because in our area it's just been kind of gross and gloomy. And then how was the trail? Would you rate it kind of as expected, easier than expected, or harder? This is one where I just want to go ahead and click more. Again, double check the technical rating against your perception of the trail because number one, it's your input will not change the overall trail rating because of that trail rating. We have these trail guides, they're vetted, they've gone through a process. So we're not going to just constantly be bouncing back and forth the trail rating based on popular vote, if you will. But please, for the sake of everyone's kind of like the community's perception of the trail, mark it as you saw. So maybe it was as expected, or maybe it was harder because conditions of the day were just kind of just gross. For now, I'm just gonna put as expected. How busy was the trail? Well, it was just me because guess what? Everyone else was working. So go ahead and click next. You can then add photos. You can describe what you saw on the trail. Maybe you saw a moose. That would be fun. And then you hit submit. And that trail report then would be cataloged and we would be the first trail report that the community would see because it goes in chronological order. I'm going to go ahead and go back, back, and now let's just see what happens if it's obstructed or temporarily closed, because that also is really important, especially as seasons are changing. Trails still might be open, gates may not be closed just yet, but let's just say it's obstructed. Again, it's today. I skipped work this morning. Please keep that between us. Big Gus, and then obstructed. Now, let's see what the obstructions look like. Oh, it could be a washout, it could be deep snow, it could be a downed tree, impassable water crossing, broken down vehicle. So there are some options, and this again is really, really helpful to know. And probably even more important as we go through a winter season into spring, once trails start opening back up, gates start opening back up. I would expect a lot of down tree reports, maybe some deep snow, some impassable water crossings, but where I live, down trees are going to be an issue. If snow's not the issue, it'll be down trees. And so having this as just an awareness for the community is so valuable. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna click out of this because I don't want to submit a false trail report. Um, Again, I'm going to pull up the chat just really quickly. I'm not going to get distracted, I promise, but I want to see your guys' virtual commitments. We have about 350 people here. Will you go out and run a trail this weekend and leave a trail report? If you pledge, I do, say I do. I do. Okay. Thank you. All right, you guys are awake and you're paying attention. Let's move on, shall we? So, next up, I'm going to close out of Hey, someone's sleeping over there. Don't be sleeping. Come on, we've got a giveaway to get to. Okay, I'm gonna click out of the Discover tab. I am now going to move us down here to offline maps. So this might be one of the most critical features that we have to offer. I think it's like children. I can't pick a favorite. But an offline map really, 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 really has saved my butt a number of times. So I think it might be probably my favorite child. So let me just back up. So I'm going to go ahead and click this offline map button. You will see this as the second placement on your phone. If you're following along on your phone, go ahead and hit new offline map. From here, you can pick the satellite imagery detail resolution that is most suitable to you. So what this means is depending on how much detail you want at a certain zoom level, will be really important to like, I guess, understand prior to saving that offline map. Especially because as you kind of move this guy around and depending on the trail that you are running, like if you're just running a point to point that's relatively like limited obstacles, it's not going up and towards a saddle. There's not a huge network. Generally, I would probably say like I need at most a medium resolution, sometimes even low resolution, because I don't need that much detail. But if I'm getting into a situation where I'm moving from trail system to trail system, or I'm planning a multi-day trip, I would probably say like I might want a higher resolution in some areas, which you can see the tile size is much smaller, but that detail at a certain zoom level is going to be everything I need. So let's say like I anticipate an obstacle 50 miles down the trail that I absolutely need every specific ounce of detail possible. I'm going to select high. But for the sake of today's conversation, I'm going to select medium. I'm also, just so you guys can kind of see how we break this down, choosing the map satellite imagery detail right here on this little question mark. You can see what you get at the certain zoom levels. So with low, the zoom level at 13, what you're going to see is a small town forest section. At a higher or medium resolution, I should say, you're getting your two-lane roads. It's getting pretty detailed. And then at high, again, you're going to see houses, tree clusters. It's really going to be extremely high, high, high detail that you can get out of that offline map. So let's just say this will be the Z family outing because I like to make sure that my maps are neatly organized based off of how I name them. So naming convention is pretty important, just a pro tip. And then I'm going to go ahead and hit save. Now, this is going to be really important because I'm going to explain something here just 1 second. So I'm going to hit save. This was saved to my account, and because I'm on desktop, it automatically saved to my desktop, no questions asked. Okay, got it. You can see this green box around the map area that I've picked. I've got a nice little waypoint here. I will explain waypoints in just 1 second, but here I can see everything that's going to be inside my offline map view. So check. I want to explain something, and I'm going to run the risk of trying to share my phone screen. And please bear with me. Zoom had an update, and the sharing functionality is kind of funky. So I'm going to try to share my phone so you can see exactly what I'm looking at, because this is a really, really important. Of course. 1 second. I'm committed for you guys. All right, cool. Okay, I think you can see it. Can you give me a virtual? Yep, we got it. We can see it. Thank you. Okay. Again, Zoom had an update and it's been a little bit of a beast. Okay, so what I want to explain here is on my mobile device, you can see I have a lot of maps downloaded, and I'm going to give you a little kind of fun acronym. Green means good to go. You can see green check marks around the maps that have been fully downloaded. You can see though that on the Z family, the new one that I just added, there's a downward arrow and it's black. I'm gonna go ahead and tap that. And now on my map, you're gonna see a candy cane perimeter where that map is. So it's saved the tile on my mobile device, but the actual offline map has not been saved. Okay. So I'm going to repeat this one more time because this is a very, very crucial step to your planning and successful adventuring out there. I saved the map, created and saved the map on my mobile device, or excuse me, on my desktop. It's saved to my account, but now I'm going to go in, I'm going to hit the down button, and it's going to now prepare my offline map, and it should just kind of fly through this process. But if you're in a situation where you're sort of like at the edge of service, meaning you're at a trailhead, this might go slower. You might see disruption in download speed. If you're at a coffee shop or a pub and you're planning out an adventure, just make sure that green means what? You're good to go. So now I see the green tile. I see the green check against my offline map, and everything is dandy. Cool. Um, Now I'm just gonna zoom out so you can kind of see what that looks like on my phone. Zoom back in, and I've got all that great topo lines, satellite imagery, really nice. Okay, so let's go back to desktop again. Bear with me. Hopefully this is gonna work. Okay, okay, perfect. Thank you for playing along that experiment. Okay, so offline maps. Now we've covered a few, kind of just to summarize what we've covered before we get into a little bit more detail around how to now plan and then execute your trip. We've covered how to discover trails. We've covered how to filter the map based on the ride type. We have covered how to build an offline map. Check, 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 check. Okay, now we're getting into the scenario where let's begin to plan a trip. So I'm going to go ahead and just say, let's just kill this waypoint for now because we are going to create a new trip. So let's just say I want to take a family out on a little cruise in the Clearwater and get up to Saddle Camp. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here to my tools and I'm going to find where it says waypoint. Again, if you're on your mobile device, the tools section will be the one, two, three, fourth over from the left. Select waypoint. And now I'm going to zoom in. Actually, I don't want to do that. Delete real quick. I'm going to zoom in to where I see a campsite. So let's just say this is where I want the first camp checkpoint to be. So I'm going to go ahead and click there, add a waypoint. Now, what's really fun is waypoints can be customizable. So depending on what kind of activity you're doing or the intent for your adventure, you can simply just mark the waypoint accordingly. So let's just say for now, I'm going to do some dispersed camping with the family. Black, yeah, I don't know if I want to do black because it might get lost on the map. So I'm going to go ahead and hit save. Well, what's going on here? Let's edit this guy. Okay. Okay, here we go. Back to the screen. And I want to mark my waypoint green for camping. The color coordination is pretty important because Again, the map can become a little bit noisy, a little bit overwhelming. So I like to make sure that I'm just keeping everything color coordinated. So for me, green is going to be camping, camp, night one, check. And then you can add notes if you want to. You can add photos to your waypoints if you want to. I'm going to go ahead and hit save. Amazing. Now I have kind of like the first checkpoint of my adventure. And let's just say I want to zoom in a little bit more and get into some more detail around what's around. Okay, so it looks like it's on a ridge. Looks like I'm gonna have some good overview. That looks fun. Okay, so now I'm gonna zoom back out and I'm going to build a route starting from the end of the trailhead. Actually, let's go, yeah, end of the trailhead all the way to my waypoint. So I'm going to go ahead and select build route. And all you need to do is drop your first point to begin building the route. And as you can see, there's a red squiggly line and it's just snapping its way along the trail. I'm going to go ahead because it's going to, just as another pro tip, the way that the route builder tool has been constructed is it's going to try to find the fastest path to your destination. So if you find it trying to jump like this, it's using its back end logic to say like, oh no, we got to go this way. Well, okay, I don't want to go that way. So I'm just gonna snap a couple lines here to make sure that that is staying on course. Okay, perfect. This route looks great. It's getting me from the point of the trailhead to the camp spot. Now, I have my waypoint marked green for camping. I want this trail to be probably like a bright color because out on the trail, if you have, like for me, for Larry as an example, I'm only running a RAM mount. I don't have this like great in-dash unit, so I have a big screen. My screen is my phone, sometimes a tablet, but it generally is my phone. So I need something that's going to be bright, that is going to indicate what my route is. So generally, I pick the purplish magenta color, and then I always have it be a dashed or dotted line so I know that it's not the guided trail that I'm on, because as you can see, the route that I'm building is sitting on top of the guided trail that's marked blue. And I want to make sure that's separate because at some point I may want to deviate from the guided trail and follow my route a different direction. And I don't want it to be confused. So easy indication, always have your route either dashed or dotted. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I'm telling you what to do. And then I generally have the weight of the line as thick as possible. So again, if I'm in the rig and my phone mount's bouncing around, I can just keep an eye on where that route is. It's really hard to kind of like show it in this environment, but if you can imagine with me, when you're following the route out on the trail, it's going to be a breadcrumb projected in front of you. So that's what you are following. And that's why, like as you're reading the map and watching that, you're going to see your GPS puck basically follow the designated color and route line along the way until you get to your destination. Cool. Does that all make sense? I'm glad it does. Now, go ahead and hit save. Actually, I want to name this. So let's go name this Z Family Outing, and then go ahead and hit save. Now, we have a few elements that are kind of built and put together. Let's sort of package this up into a cohesive, a cohesive plan. I'm gonna zoom back over here to the left-hand section of the screen. At the bottom of your phones, you're gonna see my content right there in the center. This is essentially your library, okay? So any content that you've created, whether you've imported GPX or KML files, or you've built routes, saved waypoints, It's all going to live within the My Content section. And let's just say for today, I want to build the Z family outing trip. Let's go ahead and do that together. I'm going to create a new folder, Z fam outing, just to stay consistent. I'm going to go ahead and save that. You can see there's no items there, but let's go ahead and select this waypoint, Camp Night 1. I'm going to go ahead and look at See More and add to folder. All right, now this is starting to take shape. I'm going to go ahead and add this to the Z family outing. Cool. Let's click my route, add to folder, Z family outing. Nice. Now all of a sudden we have a plan that's coming together. Everything is housed and contained together. And if you're going out and running this trip with buddies, let's just say like this is a group, you're going out for a fun adventure, you have the ability to share the master plan, okay? And this is super fun because this is a way for you to kind of allow others to follow along. You're seeing something, actually, this is a disclaimer. You're seeing something that you will not see in the product just yet. This is an employee setting. So at some point, you'll be able to see the contribute button. But for now, you're going to see the view only. So I'm going to go ahead and select view only so you can see what that looks like. Hit that, and then air loading, share link. Cool. That's always fun. But effectively, what that should look like is that you're going to get a shared a link to where you can share your folder out. And then from there, the recipients can get that via text message, email, and they will have the master plan. They can't go in at that point to necessarily mess up the master plan. There will be, as you saw, the ability in the future to contribute to the plan. But again, for the sake of today, the master plan is all in the master's hands. I don't know why that made me laugh, but whatever. Okay, so last little bit. I'm gonna try to go back to my phone because I want to give you guys a sneak peek on something, and I'm really, really, really excited about this. And the reason why I'm gonna give you a sneak peek now is we are starting to roll out a new feature that I want you guys to get excited about. So let's see here. Okay, can you see my phone again? Okay, so as we are kind of looking at this plan, oh, one last thing, guys, before I jump to that, I'm gonna zoom in. You see all of those red squares? This is indicating private land details. So I want to show you where private land is because within the phone, because what's really, really important here is as an elite member, so we have three different tiers, a free tier, which is like you kind of get access to the map, but nothing else. There's a premium tier, which gets you access to almost everything that we had just walked through. And then there is an elite tier. And with the elite tier, you have the ability to turn on or off private land information. And what's great about this is less so about who owns what property, but to know what property you can and cannot be on. And that is really, really, really important because as you can see, like there might be at times where this trail or a trail or any trail will go through some private parcels, and it's pretty important just to make sure that you are where you can legally be at all times. Um, the precipitation layer. So as I was getting to, precipitation layer just rolling out. This is a super, super great feature. Probably something that all of you guys are really familiar with, But again, this just helps any of the trip planning, what kind of weather you might be getting into. So that way, as you are looking ahead in the forecast and you're trying to make sure, like, I don't really want to go out for a camping trip and get the kids soaked, blah, 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 blah. Or you might be out on a trip and you're like, oh, wow, like was not expecting this weather pattern to come in. This will give you a view at a glance while you're out recreating and navigating, basically what is going on. One last kind of shout is that this will not be available offline. So just kind of a strong caveat there. It will not be available offline, but online it will. Let me go back to the main screen, and then I did see a question that I want to address. You can, okay, this is important enough to acknowledge now. How do you load a GPX file on the app? So what you would want to do is download however you can download the GPX file from whatever source that you're using. Download that to your local like desktop or save it to your phone. Sometimes I even just text myself the GPX file. And then what you're gonna see here, let's just pretend we're like out of that view. I'm going to go ahead and click My Content. I have several GPX files that I want. Go ahead right here where it says Import, select Import, and then you can either drag or drop or select from your computer the files of your choosing right there, and then it will be imported into the system. Okay, I see people are getting really excited about the giveaway, so thanks for playing along. Let's go ahead and get to the giveaway. You've made it this far. Thank you so much. What we have as a thank you to 5 participants of here is a amazing boonie hat. You have to have an onX Offroad account. A free account is okay. Check your emails tomorrow to see if you won. If you did not win and you're feeling sad, just wait, there's more. You can, and I'm telling you, you can go and buy one. We have a shop. I don't know if people know this, but we have a shop, you guys. Go to the shop. It's in the menu bar somewhere if you know how to like navigate a website. And if you go Rage Cop, if you didn't win, I always do that. I enter a giveaway, I don't win the giveaway, and then I just go buy the thing anyway. So go buy some gear. Maybe for the holiday season, it's always nice to give the gift of swag, so do that. And then basically we're done. We are wrapped. Thank you so much. If you have the socials, follow us on the socials. If you have any more questions, we have a whole YouTube channel. And we have on that a page dedicated to education. If there's any questions that we did not answer, look on YouTube. This will also be published tomorrow. Thanks for joining along. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. I hope you have a great holiday season. Enjoy.